Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. What kind of things come to mind when I mention the decade of the 1980s? David Bowie, Thundercats, Cabbage Patch Kids, Care Bears, Transformers, and of course, the NeverEnding Story. I can't sing, okay? The NeverEnding Story follows a boy called Bastian, who finds a mysterious book called The NeverEnding Story in a bookshop and decides to read it while hiding in his school's attic. The book is set in the magical world of Fantasia, and tells the tale of a warrior called Atreyu who is sent on a quest to stop an evil presence called the Nothing, which is trying to destroy the land of Fantasia. While taking his journey, a ferocious beast called the Gamork is on a mission to kill Atreyu and help the Nothing complete its path of destruction. To make matters worse, the Empress is dying from an illness because of the Nothing. Now, films have attempted to get kids to read before, but they've often tried way too hard. The NeverEnding Story tries to encourage reading not by obnoxiously preaching about it to the audience, but by simply showing a small boy enjoying the activity. The enthusiasm and interest Bastian displays while reading is a great way of inspiring young audiences to see the entertainment value in books. The film goes one step further by connecting Bastian to the story he's reading, empowering him with a part to play in the world of Fantasia. Throughout the film, it's indicated that the book's characters are aware of Bastian, and while this does initially scare Bastian, he's too engaged in the book to stop reading. This gives a fantastical and almost spiritual appeal to reading, made even more poignant when we learn that Fantasia is actually powered by human dreams and imagination. So what about the NeverEnding Story itself? Is the book as exciting as Bastian makes it out to be? Well, the film goes for a very traditional fantasy adventure formula. A hero must go from point A to point B to stop something evil. But the journey the hero takes is very imaginative in this film. Atreyu himself makes for a fantastic lead in the book. I love how passionate and determined he is to save Fantasia. He rarely ever sulks or whines. He knows that serious shit needs to be done and he gets on with it.
If I don't save her, she'll die! There's a terrible Nothing sweeping over the land! Don't you care about that?
We don't even care. Whether or not we care.
At the same time, he's human enough to express fear, caution, regret, and apprehension. If Atreyu didn't express these human traits, then he would have become less relatable and more like a generic, one-dimensional fantasy hero. Atreyu meets plenty of colourful characters on his journey too, like a laid-back dragon called Falkor, an eccentric scientist and his new age wife, a wise, ancient giant turtle, and a friendly rock-biter. Each character Atreyu meets varies in personality and design, plays their own unique part in Atreyu's quest, and adds spice to the film's adventure. You're bound to fall in love with at least one of these charming Fantasia residents.
Could you get round and scratch behind my right ear? I could never quite reach it.
Here?
Yeah.
The obstacles Atreyu faces are gripping too, as they make our hero face very human insecurities, from a lake that feeds on sadness to a pair of sphinxes that shoot laser eye beams at those without confidence. There's something terrifying about these challenges, as they literally reach into people's souls and prey on their inherent weaknesses as humans. Then we have the Nothing, an entity that's slowly destroying Fantasia. The movie does an amazing job showing how ominous the Nothing is. There's an always present feeling of grim dystopia throughout the film, a disheartening sense of an apocalypse on its way. The Nothing looms over everything in the shape of dark clouds, Fantasia is falling apart, and characters express deep fear. We later learn that the Nothing represents the cynicism and apathy of humankind. Here's the thing though, the film doesn't really paint humankind as a race in denial of hopes, dreams, wishes and fantasies. Heck, it doesn't really paint any kind of picture of humankind as a whole. It's like the film's perception of humankind is locked away in the director's head and not fully realised on screen. Yes, the film opens with Bastian being told to stop daydreaming and start focusing on school, but that's just Bastian, not humankind as a whole. Sure, the bookshop owner complains that kids are more interested in video games than books nowadays, but that's just the bitter moaning of an old man. I'm sorry, but if the Nothing reflects the growing cynicism of humankind, then actually show a widespread human population abandoning their sense of imagination. We need examples of imagination decline that match the weight of a forthcoming apocalyptic force like the Nothing. I can't feel the weight of what the Nothing represents if the overall state of humankind's imagination isn't fully explored in the movie. So, what about the puppetry, the focus of this review series? The puppetry is staggering. Every puppet is immensely detailed and given believable organic life. The rock biter actually looks like he has flesh made from rocks, plus a body that's heavy set and gigantic. You really get a vivid sense of his weight, texture and scale on screen. Plus, bloomin' heck, look at the beast of a puppet made for Falcor. The beautiful shiny scales, soft lovely fur and doe-eyed face all help to make him very appealing. Also, he actually breathes. Look, he's really breathing like he's genuinely alive. If that's not good puppetry, then what is? While the puppets' mouths don't perfectly match up with their voices, I don't mind, because it makes the fantasy creatures look hypnotically otherworldly. To conclude, The NeverEnding Story is a classic 80s fantasy movie packed with imagination, adventure, and a wonderful lesson about the power of reading. Its message about the decline of human culture and its connection to Fantasia isn't exactly fully illustrated on screen, so something does feel missing. But it's still an awesome movie. I've been Jambareeqi and I hope you enjoyed my review. Feel free to support me on my Patreon. And in the next episode of Puppet Panic, I'm going to review Meet the Feebles. Cheerio, folks.